What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Real Nation Fishing, and today I'm going to be reviewing my new fishing kayak. I've been doing research for about a year into purchasing a fishing kayak and finally went ahead and pulled the trigger. And I've taken it out once, so this is an initial review of what I felt about the kayak, what I liked, what I didn't like, things that I'm going to be upgrading, or things that I wish would be a little different on the kayak. But overall, it's a great kayak. It's a native watercraft, Slayer Max Propel 12.5. Let's do a quick little walkthrough. Now this kayak is 12.5 foot long, hence the name Slayer Max Propel 12.5. It is with the propel drive and the seat in place. This kayak weighs about 125 pounds. With the propel drive and the seat out, it's about 95 pounds. So it's not a super heavy kayak. There's definitely heavier kayaks out in the market, but it's also not a light kayak. And I am car topping this on a Civic with no roof rack, and I actually have a system in place for that I'm working on. Once I perfect that, I'll probably put a video out about how I top load this kayak. Now, starting up at the front, kayak comes with this very nice straight handle BMX grip style, which is actually like a track system right here, so you can mount a camera, a light, whatever you want. Super useful. The handle is very sturdy. It's nice when you're moving the kayak around, everything like that. It also has this little groove over here, as you can see, so if any water gets on board over the bow, you can just run through and out, so the water is not pooling up on top of the front hatch over here. The front hatch also actually has these track rails on it, which is perfect for mounting. Again, a camera is facing out that way or towards you if you're doing some filming while you're fishing. These little push and pull grips that some clips that sometimes just don't want to work. I don't know why, but this is how the front hatch is opened and closed. So you just pull that out, pull this one out right here. Right in the front hatch, you got two storage areas. One has a liner you can pull out and put other things in here that you probably don't need right away. So I have my safety kit in there. May put like rain gear and things like that. The second compartment is padded, as you can see. You place a battery in here, and it comes with this transducer scupper hole or scupper plug, whatever you want to call it. And you can place your battery here and run your wires through right below where the transducer mount sits in the kayak. And that actually comes with a little area that's slightly above the base of the kayak to protect your transducer. It comes with a transducer mounting plate as well, so you're not drilling holes into your kayak. Now, moving on this way to the middle of the kayak, let's talk about the propel drive for a quick second. The only other pedal drive that I've used is the Old Town PDL. My brother has a 120, and I found that pedal drive to be super smooth. It was great. This one is just as good, if not better. It was super smooth. It's so sturdy. It's built really well, and it's actually very, very light as well. So when you're moving and transporting it from your car to the boat, it's very nice. It just sits into this little groove over here, and then again, the same push and pull style clips will put it into place. Two over here, and then you have one right over here, so for when the drive is deployed, you can lock it into place. But I like to leave this one open in case I hit a rock or a stump. This can at least pop up, and I'm not risking any further damage. Now, this is a 701 propel drive. Because this kayak is a 2023 model, I'm not sure if they started out with this year's model or the year before, but this also comes with a weed guard over here, which is perfect, so that stops from any vegetation or line and things like that getting stuck in your propeller. When I took it out a couple of days ago, I did get caught in some reeds, and I wasn't able to use my drive because the reeds were thick and they were caught up in here. I just lifted the cover out, pulled my propel drive out, pulled the reeds out, and it was clean right away. Nothing was caught in there at all. This also comes with like a prop indexer. So in this position right here, this is the only position where this pedal drive can be deployed or pulled out. So this is why it's there. So if your propeller was like this, you can just push down on the prop index, and it's kind of hard to do this with one hand, and then pedal. Once you hear that clicking sound, you can pull your pedal drive out. I know I hear a lot of people talk about how it takes a lot of time to do that. but I took my Propel drive out maybe like 7, 8, 9 times that day, and I never felt like it was an extra step. It just comes right out. So yeah, super happy with everything so far on the boat. And you can see in the middle right here, 34 inches wide, so pretty stable kayak. You have a lot of leg room. I had my catch board stored underneath the seat. I was measuring fish, had no issues. Kayak comes with 10 scupper holes or scupper plugs. I think you have 4 out this way, and then 6 in the tank wall in the back. I had them all plugged in for the first time out, and I took this kayak out pretty much bare bones. The reason why I did that was because I wanted to get a good idea of how the kayak feels stock right from the store, and then and then I can get a better idea of how I want to upgrade it and what I want to do with the kayak. Now, I did purchase this cool little tool caddy from Native that just attaches on with some screws into sliders on your track system here. Pliers, I don't know, you want to put anything that you want, any of your tools, you can put it right there. It's very convenient. And Floors obviously has this soft pad. I forget what this, I don't know if this is EVA or what material it is, but it dampens the sound, so it's very nice, very comfortable to stand on if you're fishing barefoot. Now moving on to the seat. Seat was super comfortable. I fished for about 7-8 hours, had no issues with it. Just a little buckle style over here to adjust if you want to lean back or lean forward a little bit more. And the seat is also situated on these tracks, one on each side, and these little turn screws will tighten the chair down. You can slide it back and forth. Super comfortable seat, comes out very easily, super light. I had no issues with the seat whatsoever. Now, this little tray underneath the seat was just amazing. This is one of the reasons I bought this kayak. The amount of storage possibilities and just customization on this kayak, I really love. I had like all my soft plastics on one side, and then I had like baits that I've already used or that I had cut off and might want to reuse. I had them on one side. At one point I had a sandwich in here and a juice box, so like it's just a really good storage for whatever you want to use. Underneath the kayak, underneath the seat, as you can see here, I have one 3700 Plano Edge terminal box, and then I have another 3700 deep box, both underneath the chair, and I have room for one more terminal box that I can put on top. So again, you have storage underneath the seat, right? Now on the side of the seats, you have this little groove or a little section over here where you can throw your tools in, pliers, scissors, whatever you want, and you've got 2 on each side. I didn't really make use of these at all because I have that tool caddy there, and then I had my clippers just attached to the side over here. But it's definitely there if you want to use. Now, let's get over to the other side over here. Kayak also comes with 2 storage areas, one on this side, one on the other side. It will fit a 3600 Plano box, super easy. Strap it down and you're good to go, right? So now we already have 1, 2, 3, 4. You have room for 1 or 2 more underneath the seat. All right, that's about 5 or 6 already boxes that you can already store without having to purchase anything else, right? And then you also have so much room in the tank wall in the back to put whatever you want, but we'll get to that point eventually. So front, we covered the front, we covered the front hatch, the Propel drive, the seat, the storage underneath the seat. We've got storage on the side, obviously cup holder, 1 forward facing rod holder, which is amazing because when you are unhooking a fish or just retying is a lot easier. We have 1 rear facing rod holder on the right side, and then 1 also on the left side. You're probably wondering why I'm not using them, why I have these rods stored over here. I'm gonna get to this point and talk about some things that I don't like about the kayak, but we'll save that for a little bit later. Now, moving back over here, as you guys can see, this rear tank well is massive. It's just so much room here. You can literally do anything that you want over here. You can put a black pack here, milk crate, battery, supplies, storage, whatever you want to use it for. You have a lot of space that you can use, and it's pretty open space, right? There's no weird indentations coming out and curves or that's going to stop you from putting certain types of coolers or crates in the back over here, which is super cool. That's something that I'm very excited to utilize all that space there for something. Now, paddles, right? This is also one of those points that I want to talk about that I didn't really like about the kayak. But before we do that, let me just show you guys something that I missed. Rudder control. On the left side of the kayak, very responsive, nice and tight. On the left side of the kayak is good. I fish with my right hand, and I like to have control on with my left hand if I need to steer the kayak at all. We will talk about the rudder itself in a little bit, but let's just go to the back, finish it off over here. You can see in the back, nice hull design. Again, 2 areas to grip from the back. Again, BMX style grip. This is also a track system. You can use it to mount light. You can use it to mount a GoPro, anything that you want. I love this concept. It's amazing. Again, we got the rudder at the bottom. This is a 2023 model, so this is a spring-loaded rudder. And let's talk about the rudder. We got a rudder lock system over here where if you pull, this will drop that rudder in the vertical position. You can fish it, you can use it this way, or you can use it in the horizontal position. I like using it like this. I feel like I get a little bit better tracking and a little bit better control. And now, right here, we've got all the cables that are running from the rudder control handle over there to here. You can tighten these or loosen these and adjust them as you feel fit. We've also got some rear storage in the back over here. I just have my, what is this? I think it's my warranty or something that came with the kayak. Yeah, it's my warranty papers and things like that that I keep in here. I'm going to slowly eventually figure out what I'm going to be using all these storage places for, but there's tons of storage on this kayak. There's a lot of customization capabilities that you can utilize. Now, let's talk about a few things that I did not like about this kayak, and we'll start from the back. Okay, we'll start with the rudder right away. Nothing is wrong with the rudder. I know a lot of people have complained about the previous models of the natives not having good tracking or just causing issues when steering. Because this is a newer model and a spring-loaded rudder, I think it's made the difference, because I didn't notice any issues when it came to tracking or controlling or turning this kayak. However, I am not a fan of this rudder placement. I don't like the way the rudder is placed over here. The reason why is because you cannot lift your kayak from the front whatsoever. So when I'm top loading this kayak onto the Civic, cannot lift it from the front. If I want to drag the kayak, you cannot lift from the front, because when you do, you'll get to a certain point where the weight will get past the rear keel over here, and all the weight is going to be on your rudder, right? And it can bend, it can flex, and it can break. So wasn't a huge fan about the rudder placement. Number 2, the kayak comes with these taco grips, right, where you can break your paddle down in half and store your paddle here. Not a fan of that at all, because even though it's a pedal kayak, you need paddles, right? And if you hook into a fish, you're fighting the fish for 5 minutes. By the time you're dragged yourself into, I don't know, a bunch of weeds, lily pads, now you gotta reach back, grab the 2 sections, put it together, and get yourself out. It's just a pain. So not a fan of that. What I'm going to be doing is purchasing either a Yak Attack double header mount, I think it's called, putting it over here or maybe on the front, and just having my paddle together and just hooking it in, latching it into place onto one of those mounts. Or maybe I'll add a taco grip over here like the Old Towns have, but I just don't want to drill into the kayak if I don't need to. All right, now the third thing and the last thing that I did not like about the kayak. Actually, you know what, before I do that, let me talk about something that I completely missed. Kayak comes with these 2 disposable plates, I guess you can say. One here and one on this side as well. These are super great. If you are looking to install any sort of electronics when it comes like lights or buttons or switches, you can run your wiring. You can run your wiring through here, you know, attached to your battery. Run it through and have them come out onto this side, a USB port, a button, lights, whatever you want. And if you end up making a mistake, you can just purchase a new plate and put this on. Or maybe you want to change the pattern and you want to remove a few things and add more switches or whatever you want, you can do that. So amazing idea, I love it. Again, customization on this kayak is amazing, I love that. Yeah, now let's get back to my last and third point of what I did not like about the kayak. Initially, I was really excited about these rod compartments. You got one on this side and you've got one on that side, right? But like I said, I took this kayak out bare bones. I had just one tackle bag in the back. I had no rod storage. I took 7 rods with me. Now, some of you might be saying, oh, 7 rods is a lot. But if you're an avid fisherman, avid angler, especially if you're looking to fish tournaments, 7 rods is not a lot, right? When you're out on the water, you're fishing for money. If you have multiple rods, multiple setups, it just makes you that much more efficient on the water, right? What I realized was, first let's talk about the capacity. As you can see on one side, I have a 7'3" bait casting rod into the rod compartment with a rod sleeve. I'm able to fit 2 of these rods in here with rod sleeves, right? On the other side, I have a spinning rod, which is 7'6", no rod sleeve, and I was able to fit about 3 or 4 of those rods in that compartment. Now, what was the issue with that? Well, the issue with that was if I have 3 rods set up in this compartment, what was happening was anytime I went to go use a rod, the guides would get tangled in the line. I would have to pull all 3 rods out, untangle it. By the time I get that rod out, I drifted or I'm out of position. It became a huge pain, right? To have that many rods and actually utilize these compartments actively fishing, it just didn't work. It does come with these rod butt holders on each side where you can place your rods into and strap it down, which is pretty neat. But you can only really put one. If I put one more rod on top of here, the reels hit each other, they sit at an awkward angle, and it just makes it very uncomfortable, and you just risk damaging guides or breaking your rods. I feel like this system is good if you're transporting, if you're going from one location to another and you're going underneath a bridge or overhanging trees and you know you just want to get through, it's great. But if you're going to be actively fishing and switching rods, I don't think it's that great. That is why we're going to invest in a black pack or some sort of milk crate system to have my rod stored in the back, so I can pick and choose which rod I want with ease, with no tangling and no issues. Other than that, I feel like I covered everything. If you guys feel like I missed something, or if you have any questions in regards to anything else about the kayak, please feel free to leave comment down below, leave a question, and I'll try to get back to you guys. But yeah, overall, that's my initial review of the kayak. I'm going to be spending a lot more time on the water, and hopefully give you guys a more detailed review about what I feel about the kayak. One last thing I mentioned is that this kayak is sitting on a lone bunk style cart, and I like it a lot. It's a good cart. Speaking about the cart, you know, one thing I did forget to mention is that I initially purchased this kayak with the native sidekick system. Okay, if you guys don't know what the native sidekick system is, I'm going to post a picture here right now. It's essentially a landing gear that stays attached to your kayak with wheels that drop down when you want to transport your kayak, and when you're in the water you can pull your wheels up and they just sit right across over here, right? I ended up returning that and I ended up buying a regular style cart. Number one reason, I did not feel like it was worth the $300. I went ahead and tried to install it. It wouldn't sit flush with my kayak for some reason. Even after I got it to sit flush and tighten down properly, it was causing so much flex on this track system over here, because it's just a crossbar that goes by, and then when you lift your kayak up from the front, all that weight is just pulling up this track over here, and I just did not like the feel of it. It was flexing a lot, and with weight in the back, I didn't want to risk damaging the kayak. I ended up returning it and bought a Malone Traverse HD. That's what it was. It was a Malone Traverse HD bunk style cart, and very easy to use. I'm gonna do a little bit more detailed review about the cart itself when I talk about how to top load this car, because that's where I feel like it will be more useful. Also fishing a month-long tournament for the month of August for Kayak Bass Canada, and we managed to get on the board. We need to get more fish, we need to get those numbers up and hopefully win some money this month. This is my first ever kayak fishing tournament, so I'm super excited, ready to learn and figure out things. But yeah, so if you guys are interested in fishing kayaks, this specific one, take your time and do as much research as you can about why you want that kayak, what you're going to be doing with it, where you're going to be fishing. And if you can go out and demo and try out the kayak, that's probably the best. There's a lot of stores that are right by the waterfront that will let you actually demo and test the kayaks. That would be the best. If you can't do that, then do as much research and watch as much YouTube videos as you can. That's the one thing that I did starting last year. When I first got into it, I started researching, and after a couple of weeks of research, I had my mind set on a specific kayak. I realized after the 2 more weeks of research, that was not the kayak that I wanted. All right, so keep doing as much research as you can. There's a lot of great content out on YouTube. Find those content creators who do the same style of fishing as you and see how they have their boats rigged up, see what they're saying about different types of boats, and make an educated decision, and you'll have a lot more fun out on the water, and you won't regret any decisions you make. If you guys like the content, if you guys enjoy the content, I'm gonna try to get some more videos out of you know, just more fishing content out from the kayak. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, keep fishing, don't stop chasing your dreams. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.